Welcome everyone to Together Tuesdays. My name is Kevin Vogel. I'm the Senior Solutions Architect here at Sirius Computer Solutions. I today have a couple guest appearances from Melissa Mintz. Melissa, you want to say hello?
Hey everybody, nice to join you. I am the Client Success Advisor here at Sirius and MessageOps, and I look forward to demonstrating for you today the financial snapshot.
Great, and I got Alexander, and Alexander, I'm not even going to take a shot at your last name.
It's Apostolov, like Rachmaninoff and Gorbachev, but that's all right. It's a mouthful, that's for sure. Nice to meet everyone.
All right, and so we're going to be running through, first of all, what's changed here with our acquisition, well, really, Sirius's acquisition of Champion Solutions Group and MessageOps. What's changed, what stayed the same, so that you guys know exactly what's going to be happening. We're going to be doing these Together Tuesdays every Tuesday at this time for now until the foreseeable future, and try to keep you up with what's happening inside of Microsoft, what new updates are coming, any new features or functions that we can actually help you with. And then we're going to be talking about the Inscape platform that MessageOps has developed to help you manage and better control your cost savings inside of Office 365, in Azure, in all the things that are coming out. And I think you'll be really surprised at all the new function and all the new features that are going to be released. So we're going to be doing that. And today, Melissa's going to be walking you through the financial snapshot of what's actually going to be available to you inside of the Inscape tool. So let's get started. So you're going to see that MessageOps is now the Microsoft division of Sirius Computer Solutions. So they've really gotten rid of the name Champion Solutions Group, and they're now we're now MessageOps part of Sirius. The partner name that you're going to see in your portal now will be the Sirius Computer Solutions. So just a little bit of a change there instead of saying Champion. So you're going to also be getting your invoices every month from Sirius. And I think you probably have seen that already in the things that are happening there. And then if you have any inquiries, any questions, now all you have to do is just send it to AR, accounts receivable, at SiriusCom.com, and they'll make sure that they take care of any questions you might have when it comes to your monthly billing inside of here. And of course, you can always talk to Melissa, you can talk to Alex, and you know they're always here to help you. They are our success coordinators. Our job is to try to make Office 365, first of all, cost effective, but more importantly, make sure that it's functioning and working the best for you. Now, what's not going to change, obviously, is those support people that we were talking about. The Melissas of the world, the Alexes of the world, myself, really anyone that you're used to dealing with at MessageOps, you'll notice that those things haven't changed. We're going to have the same phone number, the same email address, the same ticketing process. All of that has not changed. And of course, Inscape, that thing that you depend upon for your daily management of your environment, that's all the same. So from whether you're licensing or assigning licenses to people, getting reports, actually scheduling reports, all of that functionality has not changed. And of course, like I said, those contacts inside of MessageOps, we're all here. We're still here to support you and make sure that you're, getting the things that you need on a regular basis. So with that, any questions on there? If you want to ask a question, just go on to the chat platform that's built into the Teams meeting here, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have on the changeover here from Sirius, that we can answer for you. We'll do it right here. So with that, I'm going to let Melissa actually bring up her desktop and walk you through the financial snapshot, show you how much functionality that has. So there we go. It's all yours, Melissa.
All right, thank you for that, Kevin. Hopefully everybody is able to see my screen here. If you're not familiar with the Inscape platform, here is a quick little tidbit into the account info tab, and in particular, the financial snapshot. So if you go over to platform.inscape365.com and log in with your Office 365 credentials, you're going to navigate on over to your account info tile. Once you click on that, this will take you to your organization's financial snapshot. So this is just Sirius and MessageOps going that extra mile to help you and your organization see what your total costs are by month, see what your total costs are by service. This is all to help you guys save money, see where your money is going, whether it's your Microsoft licenses, your Cal licenses, and all of that fun stuff. So here I'm in our test demo environment. You can see what your total costs are by month. So you can see what you're spending for Office 365 versus what you're spending for Azure. You can filter and splice this however you want. This is powered by Power BI, so there's a lot of great data that you'll get here. You can also filter by date range. So if you don't want to see the last 13 months, you want to see the last 6 months, 3 months, last month, a year, you can come in and put in a custom date range to filter by. You have a nice little pie chart here that tells you what you're spending for Azure versus what you're spending on Office 365 versus what you're spending on training. This is to help give you insights into, where your money is going and your spend is going. As far as your Microsoft tab up at the top here, this specifically will show you your costs by subscriptions, your total cost by month. Many of you reach out to me and, have questions about your subscriptions. How much is this SKU? How much are we paying for this? Now you have this self-service portal where you can hop in here and in real time, take a look and be like, what am I spending on Azure Active Directory? And we tell you right here and on the screen, you want to see what you're spending for your Office 365, F1 SKU. You can come in here and take a look. You also have this line chart here where you can see what your charge date is, your charge end date, the quantity, the cost, even the subscription ID and the offer ID. You'll also see what the charge type is and how frequently you are billed from MessageOps and Sirius. Also at the top, you'll be able to see your costs by month. So you can see what you're spending every month on your Microsoft licensing with us. And also you could filter, you can take the ellipses here and you can actually export all of this data into an Excel file should you need a printable version. Same thing for your Azure subscription. So many of you are migrating to the cloud, or perhaps you're already in the cloud and you want to see where your Azure spend is going and make sure you don't have VMs running off and you're spending money out the window. Here you can see what your total cost is by month, of course, and then you could see actually by product. So Kevin, if people have a lot of virtual machines or they're using Azure for blob storage, here they can actually see their cost by product. So a lot of great hindsight here to help, with the nickels and dimes and cents of, what their organization is spending, for their Azure environment. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Melissa, just a question here. Does this also break down into, yes, it does, storage is in there also.
Yep.
Okay.
You can see storage.
You can actually figure out, so if you were using storage for, let's say, your backups, you'd be able to see what that's costing you a month. Because one thing that happens with backups is obviously that storage grows the more backups you keep out there. So you can actually get a trend on that, right?
Absolutely. So you can see what the trend is. You could spot any trends with our new tool that we'll be releasing shortly. You'll be able to soon spot any anomalies coming into your environment. So this is going to be a really great tool that dovetails into all of the future development work that MessageOps is doing.
Well, that sounds pretty interesting. What do you mean anomaly?
Anomaly is one of our new products that we're still doing final QA and testing, which will help detect via email at this point if there's any anomalies that are happening within your Azure environment. Perhaps you've got a disgruntled employee and they go in and they turn on VMs or something. You'll be able to spot cost trends that spike through the roof before you get your bill and are shocked by that.
Wow. So does this alert you on those things, or do you got to be watching this interface to get that information?
That new interface will alert you via email. So if it picks up any sort of anomalies, it will alert you via email, and you can control, how sensitive that alert is and how frequently you get it. So this will be unleashed to you guys very, very soon.
So great way to optimize your costs, right? I mean, inside of Azure.
Absolutely, absolutely. It gives you a lot of visibility and, makes you cost conscious and also security aware. Just in case, something happens inside your environment, you'll be, alerted to that fact.
Now, one thing that Chris just hit me here on the chat is you can actually tag workloads. So for instance, if you had an application that, let's say, had a front end web server with an application server with a database on the back end, you can actually tag those workloads together and actually get a cost for what that application, that whole application is costing, if you wanted to charge back, let's say, a department for it, right?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
great. That's a great way to do it. Now, what's Azure Reservations? What is that?
So this, I don't have the appropriate licensure for this, but if anybody had any Azure reservation licenses, this is where here you can actually
instances. Is that
yes,
what that's for?
exactly.
Okay, I got you.
And
so
the same
in other words,
for the software.
If you've told Microsoft that for a year you're going to run this this virtual machine for a year, and of course they give you huge discounts for that, that's where they'd show up, because it wouldn't be a monthly charge, right? That would be more of an annual charge.
Correct. So if you had any of those, that's where that would show up. And of course, if you had any software such as Cal licenses or whatnot, that would show up in this area too. And then if you would have procured anything through the marketplace, you would be able to track the cost by product and month for anything purchased in the marketplace.
So if I bought Checkpoint, or I bought, some firewall or application like Snowflake or something like that, they would actually show up here?
Yes, sir. And you would be able to see that cost by product and by month, and you could, keep tabs on what your spend is on those marketplace items.
Now, can I tag those workloads too and include that in like a cost breakdown?
I believe so. I think you should be able to tag those as well. I know for sure you can tag the Azure licensors and expenditure, but I believe also for those too you can, yes.
Well, that's great. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to ask so many questions.
No, it's great.
I figured I'd do the asking. If this was my environment, these are the things I would like to know.
Another cool thing too within the financial snapshot area, you may notice on the left-hand side, Kevin and Alex, the PDF invoice history. So this is another great resource too. Instead of everybody having maybe to email me or Alex, if they need their invoice again, you could come into Inscape, click on PDF invoice history, and retrieve your organization's latest PDF, simply clicking PDF and being able to download that all with the click of a button. So just like to make sure that you all are aware of this in case, you missed the email or it went to spam or clutter, you can come into Inscape, come into the PDF invoice history and be able to download the invoice for yourselves. The billing and information, this is not tied into a payment processing system, but you can certainly come in here and update your billing information, the mailing address, and you could add up to 5 additional people within your organization to be emailed the invoice from Sirius. So you could just click on this button here, type in the email address of the person within your organization that you want to get to receive the email. This pulls from your AD, hit save, and then whoever you have listed here would then be emailed the invoices from Sirius and MessageOps.
Now, Melissa, I know we can get some of this information out of the Azure Cost Review also, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So how does this, do they work together, or is this really where you should go from now on when you're looking at, what it's costing you?
The Azure cost, this will be your real-time spend if I'm not misquoted there. But again, within the Inscape platform, definitely leverage the Azure cost review and the Azure recommendations, because these all really dovetail nicely into each other to give you guys, a clear look into your, Azure environment, so you don't have runaway spend going on. So they all kind of really dovetail nicely to each other.
So I don't know if a lot of people have used the Azure recommendations, but that will actually not only tell you to change the size of your virtual machine, but also if you're looking at high availability, oh, here it goes, and security or performance, it can actually take those characteristics and give you suggestions. And, you don't have to do them, but they do try to give you best practices around certain workloads that don't always have to do with money, right? Don't always have to do with
Correct.
cost. It might be, you know that you have a port open on this application that might be a security breach, or that this isn't set up for high availability. And I noticed that you run this 7x24, that you can set this up and put it in the same data center or different data centers, correct?
Absolutely correct. This is more than just telling you the dollars and cents. You can leverage the recommendations to help you improve your security posture, to help you improve the performance of your environment, and help you with, operational excellence. That is correct.
Great. Well, I know that Desmond had a question. He goes, is there a way to customize the billing, i.e. add similar servers together with E3 licenses just to have one line item for E3 cost of services? Sorry about that. Do you know if you can customize the way I'm not going to say the way the bill comes out, because the bill comes out one way, but to shuffle it a little bit inside of the cost parameters?
That's a good question, and after the call, I will take a look and further investigate to see if that is possible through any of our tools. If not, I will take that as a suggestion.
Yeah, I think, the one thing I think you'll find out with Inscape is we run in 2-week sprints, meaning that we're always upgrading and adding features, and 95% of them come from the people that use this tool on a daily basis. And things like what Desmond said here, boy, this sounds to me like it would be logical, so that I could say, my accounting department uses this application and they also use these E3 licenses, and I can charge them back in bulk for whatever Microsoft Cloud resources they're using in one bill. And I think that's what Desmond was trying to put together. Am I right, Desmond? Maybe. But I think that's a great suggestion. I think that's something that maybe we can, put up the ladder here and see if our developers can do something like that.
Absolutely, a great question indeed. Another tip that I also wanted to throw out there related to that, I guess, is suspended license. We do get a lot of questions, Kevin, in and around suspended license and what the 411 is on that, if you will. Once you guys suspend a license, whether you're offboarding somebody or you just no longer need a particular license, billing stops immediately. Microsoft, however, does determine how long that remains visible in your tenant, but once you suspend a license, billing does stop immediately. And I just wanted to throw that little tip out there, if you will, because we do seem to get that question come up frequently.
So what's the difference between deallocating a license and suspending a license?
That's a good question.
That was just my question, believe it or not.
That is a very good question. I will look more into that, but I know suspending it is you're turning it off. You're no longer using it. Deallocating it, I don't know if that has to do with it being associated with something.
I think the deallocation puts it back in your pool so that you now can reassign it to somebody else.
Makes sense, yes.
Yeah, okay. Now I know what you're doing. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? I have to add all of my E3 licenses together under the same GL code for AP, same as my P1, etc. So yeah, I think it's the same thing that Desmond was talking about. So Desmond, we will absolutely check into that for you and have your success coordinator reach out to you, make sure that because when we submit it, we want to make sure we're using the right language that you're looking for. So.
Absolutely, Desmond. Shoot that question on over to me, and I'll review it to see if I can answer it myself, to see if you can filter your billing that way, or if this is something that we can add to a future roadmap. So definitely send that my way.
Is there any other questions out there? Things that you guys have been looking for inside of Inscape that we could, move forward like we are with Desmond's request? Because I think this is a great forum. We're going to be doing this, like I said, every Tuesday. This is just our first one, so we're kind of feeling our way through. This is like the pilot episode of a long-running series. So we're learning as we go here. on what you guys want to hear. So if, there are suggestions about, Together Tuesdays, if you want to see maybe some, administration's training for things like Teams, or maybe some security settings inside the, Office 365 administration console. Obviously, anything inside of Inscape, we're going to be demoing the different tiles here, one tile probably on every single one of these meetings. But if there's things that you want to, see and maybe interact with, we'll be more than happy to include them, in the upcoming, Tuesdays that we do. So please don't be shy. I promise you, we'll take all your suggestions. We have an agenda laid out, as you probably saw in the email, but we'd love to get your feedback and add in things that you really want to see. Let's see what they're saying here. Okay, thanks, Melissa. I currently do not have any systems in Azure, but thinking of moving. Well, that's a great thing. I mean, we're doing that on a daily basis, helping people move in there.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're looking to move from, let's say, a VMware environment or from a virtual, like a Hyper-V environment. But one thing you should know about the cloud, if you're going in Azure, you really should take a look at the workload, how it's configured, because you don't want to over allocate resources in the cloud. That's when the cloud gets expensive. You also, if you can, want to take advantage of automation. So for instance, if this is an application that people use during work hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 or 7 to 6 or whatever it might be, it's best if you can build in animation and turn those resources off during those off hours so that you're not being charged for them. So we'd be more than happy to help you. In fact, we have a whole assessment that we can help you with that's usually or can be funded by Microsoft to help you get into the Azure environment. So we'd love to help you. We do it for people pretty much every day of the week. So just want to let you know that. What else you got for us, Melissa? Anything else?
No, that was it. But just getting back to the question that came in about moving to the cloud, moving to Azure specifically, do we have a bunch of services in and around that? I mean, it sounds like maybe a possible fit for Azure Glide Path. What do you say on that, Kevin?
Well, once you get the workloads in there, absolutely. Glide Path, is a great way to set up policies and things to get in there. But to migrate into Azure, that's what I was talking about with the assessment, so that we can run, like Microsoft has a great tool called the MAP tool, which is the Microsoft assessment and planning tool that will actually show us what resources you have in there. And then we can give you at least an estimate on what the monthly cost would be inside of Azure. I think that might be a great starting point.
Sounds good. Any other questions before we give you guys some time back in your afternoon?
Okay, let's see. Someone's asking Melissa a question. Melissa, we'd like to talk about doing that with you. It's related to backing up our AWS servers. So that's Desmond saying that. So you might want to reach out to Desmond, and it's a great, something we can absolutely help you with. All right, well, I know that we still have 7 minutes here. We usually run this for a half an hour, at least that's the plan. But I think we covered everything that we look to cover in this issue. Any other questions, any other things that we can answer for you at this time? Well, we want to thank you for attending today. Please come back next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. And we'll have Melissa, we'll have Alex with us, and we'll make sure that we cover some more topics that can help you manage your Office 365 environment and Azure. Have a great day.